Hello everybody, welcome back again. Another episode with me, Mr. McSquare, on the lovely Wild Coast realm. Today, we're going to build a guardian farm. Now, my tutorial is taken from another YouTuber, and I'll put the link in the description down below. But my emphasis today is, all these tutorials you look up, they're always doing it in creative mode where things are nice and safe, and all the instructions are super simple and they're flying around. Well, I don't play creative mode. I play in survival world. So today, you get to see some of the common obstacles when you're building in survival mode off of someone's tutorial. Number one, before building all these platforms and lovely things, I had to add a conduit. The conduit is that wonderful contraption that allows you to breathe underwater, because without it that's just yet another you're drowning side effect of playing in the survival world. And I like it, but it's like survival hazards. So all these pillars that you see around, again, taken from other YouTubers, it's a map of all the spawn points where guardians can show up in Bedrock. And I know the spawn mechanics are different in Java, so this is a Bedrock farm. And each of those spots is blocked off. And again, I'll put a link in the description for the original YouTubers that map it right out for you. But basically, we've got them all blocked off. We build our platform. And then when I take out portions of the cobblestone in the corners, guardians can spawn. And so we're only going to let guardians spawn at this controlled location so that we can A, make sure they're not all over the place, and B, be able to farming them. What a polite way of just saying massacring them. Good thing it's all pixels. No actual living entities were hurt in the production of this video. Okay, so we have our platform, and we're just going to build it up a bit. So they're going to spawn at the cobblestone, and then we're going to put them down a shaft to a building shaft. Take the water out, and thankfully it comes from an ocean monument, so we're able to get sponged. And we need the water out so that we can create directional current. There we go. And now these are eligible spawn spots. But without water, the guardians won't spawn. And of course we're going to add water to it, but the water is going to be flowing water so that when they spawn they are pushed to the center. We use the northwest corner because it's got four columns in a nice controllable little area. And of course there's better ways to do things, but this is the way we're doing it this time. Okay, so got to bring that all the way to the corner so that the guardians get pushed down the center too. Yeah, there we go. So I don't follow their tutorial steps exactly step by step, but I've watched their tutorial, and if you look at their tutorial, you'll see that my replication is nearly identical. And so I can't take credit for the creation and the concept of it. But I put my own artistic flair at the end. Like, we all dress things up. Dress things up. Make it yours. But again, give credit where credit's due. Some other people have put in some work to make these things happen. And I hope they haven't stolen from somebody else. But I will give credit to the other YouTubers that this is not my original idea. Okay, that's basically the collection chamber once we stick some water shafts in. Those areas are now open for a guardian to spawn. Okay, there's one feature. Ah, there we go. Survival world, not creative. Okay. And I don't want stuff floating in the center, so I jump in and I grab it. Wait. There we go, and you can see that there's now water shafts from the corners to the center collection area. And the center collection area will have a trident killer with chests underneath to collect everything. Close this off. If you don't close it off, it becomes a spot where it's eligible for the guardians to hurt you. So it's going to be that they can see me through the glass, they'll attack me through the glass, but their attacks do no damage through the glass. And you'll see that later. This is just decorative that we're starting with now. Just a wall with a sea lantern on top. All the other spawn points I've capped off with a sea lantern. So you can see in the background there, it's a field of sea lanterns at the top of the water. And each of those sea lanterns is one of the spawn locations with a pillar of cobblestone to block it off. So as I said, survival world obstacles. We're building, and we've got mobs to contend with. Anytime you go more than 20 blocks away from one of the spawn locations, it's eligible for it to start spawning. So every time I go down to the bottom, hey look, we've got visitors. Or if I go too far to one of the sides, we've got visitors to clean up. Anyway, it's not that difficult, but all building, on pause, get rid of the visitors. Okay, now, stay close, continue construction. If we get too far away, that same problem's going to happen again. And then when you're building on land, I think the biggest heartache is, oh, you're building away, and a creeper shows up, and yeah, then you repair what happens, and then you keep on building. But these are the extra joys of building and survival. So that's going to be the collection chamber there, and it'll be closed off. And in hindsight, like, if you knew exactly how low the chamber had to be, do the killing chamber first and then do the shafts and open them up. And I should have done that, because then all this collection and killing area would have been completed before we have nuisance spawns showing up. But again, that's the difference between following a tutorial and building it in survival world. Isn't that right, Mr. Drown? Yeah, that's right. And you can imagine if I did put a conduit out, you can see it in the background there. The blue squared cage looking thing. I'd have all kinds of breathing issues. Multiplied by the by you guys right there, you and your little friends. Yeah, I'm talking about you. So you can imagine dealing with that, dealing with your air issues, etc. And that's why tutorials are done in creative mode all the time. But not this one. Because I imagine that if you were to do all your tutorials in survival mode, they would take double the duration. I don't want to take twice the time to watch the tutorial. I've got stupid cats and whatnot to look at on YouTube. Okay, so even though we built this section here, we got to build our killing system, and that's going to be pistons with a trident in the middle of it. So we take out a row. Don't put the pistons facing each other, right? One on each side. They're not directly opposite of each other. They're offset, so that when we send a observer pulse through, it's going to make a circle, and then all the squares are covered. Because if we put a trident in there, we want the trident to get pushed in a circle. So observer, 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 and the same thing all the way around. Keep in mind the observers have to look in a circle in one direction. It doesn't matter if they're looking clockwise or counterclockwise, but they've all got to be the same. Because if not, when you test it, there's going to be a problem. And always, always, always test all your redstone and moving contraptions. Okay, we're getting there. And that'll be the killing box. And the magma blocks are purely just for decoration. I like the glow that they give. Okay, add a lever and test. You can see this, the signal goes through, goes around, and a big part of this test for these is listen. You can hear the pistons pushing, and when we add a trident to it, you're going to listen for a little metallic ting. So give yourself access, drain the water. That just went down to the collection system, we'll get it later. Okay. And you can see it got sucked right into the box. Yep. And get that stuff back. It's not working. It's only doing a single circuit. What did I do? Because in my cuts and edits, I have like made holes and replaced holes, and somewhere along the line, something's wrong. Looking. What did I do? Okay, so we've got the observers all in a row, going the same direction. I think I know what it is. I think one of the observers, not the corner ones, but next to the corner, you see the little triangle there on top of it? One of those will be backwards. Question is which one? Yeah, I can see on the far side, it's one of those observers. It's only doing a single circuit instead of keeping on going. And a little more investigation, it's this guy. That observer there. In my tinkering with the kill chamber, I accidentally put it facing this way, which is no good. It's got to face the other way. Place the corner, and then you have it placed towards the corner. That should work. Put a lever back and test it. And there we go. Continuous cycle. Success. Test, test, test. Okay. Now, to add damage, we throw a trident onto the faceplate of any one of the pistons. Then when we turn it on, we're going to listen for a metallic ting. If there's that ting sound, it means the trident is, and there it is. It means the trident is being re-registered as being thrown again and again and again. That one throw I threw is not complete. So the game is processing it as dangerous trident coming through. If a player walks through, they'll pick it up. But if a mob walks through, they're going to get whacked. And tridents do a pretty good whack for damage. I think it's 8. And if you're really keen, you can put impaling on them. But I'm not that keen. I'll just add more tridents instead of putting enchants on them. It doesn't show in this video, but later on I wind up adding a second trident so that the monsters aren't hit by a single trident, they're hit by 2 tridents. It just speeds up the whole collection process and stops it from being plugged up. Add 20 tridents if you want. If you add too many, you're going to hit lag issues. And it's all about whatever resources you have. But man, would they die instantly if you got whacked by 20 tridents. Okay. So now we go up exactly 20 blocks. And that's why I had 20 blocks of glass. So there, we're 20 blocks above our construction at height 83. 63 sea level, we're at 83. And you can see, oh, we got visitors. And those visitors are being farmed. And of course the visitors are guardians, but and they're freaking out. They're probably attacking squid or whatever they see down there, trying to eat. Alrighty. That is the entire guardian farm and all of its mechanics. That's it. That's how it works. Now all that's left is gotta dress it up. Gotta make it look pretty. Gotta make it look like she belongs. And so we're gonna keep it basic. And you can see on the map it shows up overhead. And we just make a big old tower and flagged it. Our good old St. George cross on top, because it's an extension of our town's resources, let's say. Because you can see the town in the background. And we just made a tower and extended the glass corners all the way up. Gives it a nice open hollow feel. And then we just added some indents and impressions to give it a little bit of depth so it wasn't just a big blank monolith. Yeah. Collection chamber down below. Again, we just drained it with some of our sponge. There's our on-off switch. There's the unhappy visitors being harvested. And you can see they're trying to lasers at me, but it doesn't work. It doesn't do any damage through glass. And then here we are at the height of 20. You can see them spawning down below. And built just the tiniest little waiting lounge with a couple chairs. Easy place to AFK, it's all lit up. There's the flag up above, glass ceiling. And if someone really cares, you can have a nice little view of the outside. You can see town's really not that far away. Far enough away that spawns and mechanics aren't going to interfere with each other, but close enough to see. And these trapdoors are really decorative. Okay. Below the water, I didn't want it just being a skinny little pillar, so we just gave it some cosmetic touch-up, and I've got tons of deep slate cobbled deep slate from all the digging I've done, and that's really why it's my block of choice here. And we just gave it some support structure. About to come back and do the inside a little bit more. But we purposely didn't fill it all the way in. We made it as a hollow structure, but just to give it some substance, that it's not floating in the water and sitting on a single spaghetti strand. And you can see I'm out here. There's no more guardians. That's all blocked off. There's still going to be these guys here. Yeah, Mr. Drown, talking about you. So that's what happens when you're building in survival mode. You've always got something to worry about. And you can see I'm still in the range of the conduit. So I can mess around under the water as long as I like. I'm not going to drown. And that's it. That is it. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe and I'll share more with you. Bye bye.